everyone. I'm super excited to be able to do this video for Lucid, a platform I absolutely love and use quite a bunch. My name is Valentina Cortez Barros, and I work at Generation Colombia as the Curriculum and Instruction Coordinator. Generation is a global nonprofit network that supports people to achieve economic mobility and a better life through free skills training programs. Today, I'm going to show you a little bit of how I use Lucid in my role. And well, I have to say that I do the onboardings and upskillings of all the instructors. We have currently three programs, which are Unity, video game programming, Java, script for programming web pages, and IT support specialist. I have a general folder in which I keep like all the templates I use for those onboardings. Over here you can see that I just like have a list of them, and then whenever I want to share it with a specific group, I just create a duplicate by putting here duplicate, and I would transfer it into the specific folders of ITS or Java or Unity. And you can see here that we've been working a bunch with this. I must say that I also encourage the trainers, the instructors, to use Lucid in their sessions to make them more interactive, and that learners can really use this tool to get to know each other and like to be creative and to express in a better way. Some learners are very visual, so expressing things through a visual aid like Lucid has proved to be really useful. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the general templates I use. So for example, we have some community sessions in which we we do an appreciation of the team members. So I would say what I value of Valentina, for example, is, and then the other people would come here and leave like messages for that person, and it's like a really nice tool, and the outcomes are like fantastic, and people like really like going back um, to these boards, like to feel encouraged, right? Um, this is the one that I use to do the onboarding of Lucid, so they know how to use the platform. And over here I have like a bunch of little fun activities. So for example, this one, I usually put like columns with each name of the people that are going to be in that session, and then we talk about, I don't know, what are your goals for this year. This was for New Year, so it was like, what are you thankful for last year? And then I also explore a bunch of these visual activities, and we try them out. Here you can see um, one of how are you feeling today, for example, and these were all adapted to what I was looking for in this session. So here I talk about how is your energy and if you're feeling overwhelmed or balanced. And I tell them that they can incorporate this into the sessions to have like an overview of how the cohort, how are the learners feeling that day, or if they're understanding something. So they can always like personalize these visual activities, which they have found like super useful because the results tell you like right away, very fast in a graphic way, how the cohort is behaving. So I do have a bunch of like templates, as you can see, but I would like to show you like already specific ones that we've been using for different upskillings. I'm gonna start with one that I talked to you about, which is appreciations. So over here, you can see the group of people that were there that day. So it was Miguel, Nata, Rose, and Vale. And you can see that they make it as fun, as creative, as colorful as they want, which is, you know, a way of getting out of that rigid tone that sometimes work has. So we have a bunch of fun during these sessions, these community sessions, and they can look for GIFs, for images. Over here, you can always find like sticky notes of different colors. You can put images, emojis, icons. Some put music, so it's like very fun. And I always use like this timer to be sure we're on time and it's all scheduled. And I also put I always put music whenever we're here. So it's like a fun minutes to just like, let the stress out and like have a positive outcome. That that repeats like for every program, and we also do like peer coaching. So these are a little bit more structured. Here, for example, we also find the whole group with their faces. That's me, by the way. I'm sorry I cannot show my face. I don't know how to do it, but that's me. And over here, we talk about our pains and gains, and then each of the people that are in the session come to us and say, these are the aspects you shine, and these are like your areas of development, right? So we leave this feedback and we discuss it, and this has been like super useful. And actually, I'm impressed that people come back to this. Before we use like, I don't know, a more rigid format like a word, and it wasn't as fun and people like just forgot about it, but these people like coming back to. So if you are guiding community sessions, I would highly recommend um, these Lucid tools for sure. This one was really interesting. It was with a group from another country, from Mexico. We were doing a multicultural session, and I decided to divide. We were in teams, so I decided to divide in breakout rooms. And Lucid has this feature in which you can actually do breakout boards. So they can enter specific boards that can be the same. It can be like the same number that you have in teams, and then they can work with the people they're in without interacting with the rest of the group or seeing like the responses of the rest of the group. This was like a very, very useful tool, and it was very fun, and like the documents, the boards were totally different, so it was like cool to also be able to compare them. And the fun thing that I learned is that you can actually duplicate them many times, and up to 50 I think, without having to copy and paste over and over again. You can just like copy, duplicate, and say how many times you want to duplicate it, and that's it. So that was pretty useful. As you can see, every group has different boards, and it's like really, really easy to just keep everything really organized in folders, name it however you wish, and always come back to it. This was a duplicate of a template that I already showed you. And over here, you can see the responses of these Java instructors. And you can see how the results of this activity, for example, show up. You can see an average. So it's really useful, and they're already incorporating them in their sessions. I find that many of the visual activities can be personalized for the objectives that a specific instructor may have. So for example, this one, I used it to see how people felt about what they learned about Lucid, that specific session. And I put, I'm totally confused, I would like to practice more, or confident, I've got this, and most of them answered in here. So you can see um, where the majority of people are. You can see, have an overview and get a general impression of the people that are participating in this board. I also have to say that I do use a lot Lucid Spark because I find it more interactive. Although recently we received an upskilling in which with the other, with Lucid board, there were some really useful pre-coding tools that are already being incorporated by the instructors in Java and Unity. I also wanted to share with you a Lucid I didn't put up, but someone from Global actually did, Carly and her team. Today we had an artificial intelligence fair, and the methodology was kind of a science virtual fair in which you could enter different rooms, breakout rooms, and participate of 15-minute conferences that instructors and other participants created for us. So over here, as you can see, this amazing Lucid they put up. They talk about like a welcome, they put like the instructions, some tips about Lucid, And over here, you could enter each room whenever you went into the breakout room in Teams, and then navigate, decide to enter this one, for example, and then you could put questions in here, or like ideas of how you would use this new tool that these people were presenting, and notes and comments. And it could show you like how to go back to the main board. So it was pretty fun and useful. And overall, it's like a resource available to everyone with new ideas on how to use these tools that were presented. So, for example, here in someone talked about perplexity. So if you entered here, you could ask questions. So wondering what the price for the pro price is. So, or comments. It is good to see how a tool can help reduce bias, and you could leave like how would you use it. So it's like a co-creation tool in which knowledge is being expanded. So I really like Lucid Spark because of that. As you can see here, they just duplicated over and over again one template, one main board. They have one main board, and then they duplicate it over here. You can duplicate once or multiple times the breakout room to not have to copy and paste over and over again. So you can put duplicate multiple times and how many times you want it. So that is very useful for this type of activities. And we've been doing it for a bunch of sessions, so I encourage you to try it. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that a bunch of people can get inside of Lucid pretty easily if you just share the link, and over here click on share and say like it's edit and share for any logged in user or anyone with the link. So it has been pretty easy for our learners, and we have cohorts of up to 60 people, and they can all participate. They can put their names or just work with the nicknames that are automatically granted by Lucid. And we have never had a problem with um, the learners getting into it. So that's pretty cool, because with other platforms, there's always one that cannot enter or that has to create an account. Over here, it's super, super smooth. Finally, I wanted to say that I find this platform very intuitive. It's really easy to move around and just play and explore. The bunch of templates they have, especially those for education in this sector, has been really useful, and they can always be personalized and adapted to our needs. I encourage you to use Lucid to play around, to have fun while you're doing it. And I can tell you that I think I do the initial onboarding for the instructors, but they do these amazing boards in sessions. And I would be like happy to share with you all the boards that they've done. Um, so yeah, I'm super, super excited about all that it's coming for generation with Lucid. We currently are working in incorporating it more in a more standardized way to Canvas, our LSM. So that is like great news for us as well. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you liked it.